Okay, so this is the Dell 15-inch LCD monitor. It's from 2004, and it's a 15-inch LCD, but the nice thing about a 15-inch LCD is that's the diagonal viewable size, of course, but it's only about 11 inches wide in portrait mode and about 13 inches high. So we're going to attempt to mount this in our Arcade 1-Up counter Cade. So first things first, I removed the stand from it, which is pretty easy, just a few screws. And what you want to do is decase these anytime you're using them in a mod for an Arcade 1-Up, in my opinion anyway, because it cuts down on the area and gives you some places to mount it. So decasing was pretty simple. There's a little groove on the side. This piece on the front here snaps off, so you just have to get it started. You know, basically, you get a screwdriver in here. We don't worry about. We'd be a little more careful if we were going to be using the bezel, but we don't have to worry too much about it. We just want to kind of get the screwdriver in there, and every little few inches or so, there's clips, and those clips will give way when you use the screwdriver, and you can pop this off pretty easily. As you can see, don't worry about the controls. These are just buttons. I'll show you in a moment when we get this off for the power controls and all that sort of thing. You know what we're dealing with. Again, I'm not too worried about damaging it. And then you expose the monitor itself. Here's your controls, by the way, which this panel will retain. And now we just have to remove a few screws to take this out of this housing. So I'm going to do that in just a minute. Okay, so now that we've gotten the screws out of there, this basically, actually there are no screws holding it in. The bezel was holding it in. So this basically will come right out. Let's tip it forward here so we can get our hands on it. And just kind of wedge a screwdriver in there. And you can see this plastic piece will come right out. And there you go. Here's your monitor. And here's the rest of the bezel, which we'll toss. So we've exposed the monitor itself with the control panel that we can relocate as well, by the way. There's a couple of screws to take that off if we want to move it somewhere else. And then we have the monitor itself. And as you can see, there are some spots on the sides where there are screws. And what I've been able to do in the past is use L brackets to adhere, put screws, L brackets into these screw points and then screw that into the bezel that you're connecting it to. So that's how we're going to do that in a few minutes. But that's screen removal. And again, from a dimension standpoint, don't have my ruler down here, but you have to take my word for it. It's about 11 inches. Viewable amount is a little over 10, and then about 13 inches top to bottom, with the viewable amount being about 12. So we're going to hope this fits in that countercade, and if it does, we're going to have a nice big upgrade in monitor size. Basically for nothing, because this 15-inch monitor was a freebie that I got. Nobody uses these size monitors anymore, so you can usually find them on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, or friends or relatives getting rid of old monitors for nothing or next to nothing. Goodwill, places like that. All right, we'll be back with the rest of the mod later.